Attention all wrestling fans, get ready for the ultimate fan experience at the WCBS WrestleMania Fan Meetup in Los Angeles, California from March 30th through April 2nd. This event will bring together the biggest event in wrestling and your favorite podcast, as well as diehard fans from all over the world. This is the perfect opportunity for fans to connect and celebrate their love of the sport as well as their love of us. So mark your calendars, grab your tickets, and get ready to suck it and join us live. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience of the WCBS WrestleMania Fan Meetup weekend in LA. And if you're not a wrestling fan, there will be other YouTube creator events, including a trip to the brand new Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios. So listen to World Class Bullshitters Live for more updates, and for more information, email worldclassbs@mail.com. Thebestmail.com, jabroni.
The following is a World Class Bullshitters exclusive.
If things were looking bad for Disney, they're about to look a lot worse. We are just a few short days away from the debut of Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania, which is the beginning of Phase 5 for the MCU. Phase 4 was a difficult time for Marvel. Some of the least successful films in the entire MCU were released in order. Films like Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and The Eternals all failed to hit it big. On the Disney Plus side of things, the TV shows didn't fare much better. Fans were divided over shows like Winter Soldier and Falcon, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, and the rest. But the one thing all the fans were looking forward to was the start of Phase 5 as a way to wipe the slate clean. Well, now we have some information about Phase 5's first film, Ant-Man, and it's surprising for how bad the reviews are. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania's early social media reactions are a bad omen. Ant-Man 3's earliest reviews are less positive than expected and could be a sign of further issues for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Many fans are looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, the first entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Phase 5. Given that it introduces new villain, Kang the Conqueror, the film is vitally important to the next few years of the MCU. Unfortunately, this latest phase might not be starting off on the right foot. Early social media reactions for Quantumania are decidedly mixed, especially for a Marvel Studios film. That doesn't bode well, as such reviews are usually the most glowing and least critical that a movie receives. If things are as middling as these reviews suggest, it could cement a downward spiral for the MCU and its theatrical dominance. Many of these reviews praise Jonathan Majors' Kang the Conqueror, though almost everything else has a less consistent positive reception. One major issue is that things are all over the place, with the film simply throwing too much into the wind without committing to it or fleshing out the elements. L. George Rivera's reaction even noted that the cast feels lacking due to how little they're given, but Kang seems to be the only standout element, which is both a success and a failure. Many fans were worried about Kang not having enough setup in Phase 4 to become the new Thanos in the MCU. That seems to have been fixed with Quantumania, but at the expense of everything else. Another big fear beforehand was that the movie would be a filler film to establish elements for the next film. Such is the case with Iron Man 2, and it may very well be the same with Ant-Man's third and likely final film. Of course, every movie will have some sort of missed opportunity, but these flaws getting pointed out in Quantumania's early reviews is alarming for its overall quality. Both fans and critics were less forgiving of Eternals, with even more positively reviewed movies such as Black Widow and Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings failing to make the usual MCU splash. The highly anticipated Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was disappointing to many, and many of the various MCU TV shows have also had much more muted reception than expected. For the films, the result has been a box office intake that, while not horrific, has certainly dropped compared to Marvel Studios' heyday just a few years back. The increasingly middling nature of some Marvel Studios projects can be seen in the decreasing audience engagement, with only the most diehard fans staying on board. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania continues this downward trend in quality, especially given its importance setting up Kang. It could throw a wrench in Marvel's plans for the next few years. Several movies are already being developed, including 2 new Avengers flicks that will end the multiverse saga. Those films being the success they need to be all hinge on Marvel Studios bringing back the hype, and if the new Ant-Man has as many problems as some are already pointing out, it might be an uphill battle. Well, it had to happen, and it happened a while ago. What do you think this is, a comic book? Who do you think I am, Ozymandias? No. The MCU died a while ago, and for most, they were hoping that Phase 5 would be a fresh start to it all, but it doesn't sound like it. Since its inception, I've said that the multiverse is the most lazy thing ever created for entertainment, because it allows you to do anything, go anywhere, without any ramifications. Now, Marvel loves to play at this. They also love to play with the word quantum. Back in Avengers Endgame, the quantum this, the quantum that. The quantum film sounds much smarter. Well, if only the quantum film was just as good as it sounds smart, then we wouldn't have a problem. But we do. It seems like Marvel was trying to use the multiverse as an excuse to bring back all the big actors. They figure the money is in bringing back Iron Man with Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man with Captain America, with Wolverine played by Hugh Jackman, and wait for the results and the money to roll in. But they're not there yet. they're not going to get there if they can't build up decent films, and it saddens me to hear that Ant-Man 3 is this shitty. I like Ant-Man. The first one, I will say, is awesome. The second one, not so much. But if the third one's bad, it's an ever-declining scale of quality, and that's disappointing to say the least. Marvel used to be a pretty sure thing. A few years ago, a new Marvel movie's coming out, it's probably going to be pretty good. If a DC film is coming out, it might not be that good. You knew that. Now, all comic book entertainment is bad. Of course, the problem is saturation at times, but we're being overly saturated with bad entertainment. No one ever really complains about too much of a good thing. If it's spaced out right, we'll go back forever. Hell, did you know back in the 60s they released a James Bond film annually and people went in droves? Thunderball was one of the biggest hits of the year, of the decade. People will line up for quality all the time, every day, if it's worth it. And Marvel hasn't been worth it in quite a while. Do you think Ant-Man and the Wasp was going to outright bomb at the box office? Movies dropped in February aren't notoriously known for being these huge massive hits unless it's the Black Panther, but Black Panther got released in February and that meant something. Ant-Man getting released in February means, well, there's not a much better slate on the calendar. So folks, I want to know what you think. 3 questions for today. 1, what was your least favorite part of MCU Phase 4? 2, what was your favorite part of MCU Phase 4? Question 3, do you have any hope for MCU Phase 5? And let's put a 4th question. If you do, what is the thing you're looking forward to most? I just want to see how it all comes together, if it does at all. I've been on this journey since 2008. I've been following Marvel my entire life, and I've been a pretty big enthusiast up until about 2019, when the stories ended logically, and then everything else just felt like non-needed fluff. And then it got bad. Really bad. Like, yeah, maybe I didn't like WandaVision that much, but then it just gets really, really bad. Go back and check out our reviews of the stuff as it dropped at the beginning of 2020. Luckily, Phase 4 was the shortest phase in terms of time, but it had some of the most damaging content. And very few people like that kind of garbage. What do you think this is? Star Wars? I digress. But folks, thank you for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button to let us know you enjoy it, as well as letting YouTube know you enjoy it. It helps us become more searchable, and it just helps everybody. Plus, who doesn't love a thumbs up? Also, while you're down there, click on one of the links. I'm an artist. Check out one of my books. We have some comics. We have some art books. We have something for everybody. But click the link in the description below to get yourself one. You deserve it. Folks, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back next time with more. Thank you for watching. Be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other. Thanks for watching today's video. Yes, it's over, but don't cry because there's more, a lot more from World Class Bullshitters. And there's only one way to get it. Hit that subscribe button below. When you do that, you'll get notifications and updates from World Class Bullshitters every time we go live. Basically, you won't miss anything. And if there's one thing I hate, it's FOMO. But the thing most people hate more than FOMO is fear of missing out on World Class Bullshitters, because there's just some things you can't undo. So folks, do yourselves a favor and never miss anything from World Class Bullshitters. One last thing before you go, hit the thumbs up button. Not for our egos, no, they're big enough as this, but it does help us fight the algorithm here, and well, it's man versus machine, and that's the real fight. But if that's not your battle, that's okay. There's one last way you can help WCBS, and that's going over to shopwcbs.com, picking up a t-shirt, a beer glass, a sweatshirt, a poster, all sorts of ways to back WCBS. The difference between us and other YouTube channels is I'm the artist that makes all this stuff, so if you enjoy art beyond t-shirts, you can even read our comic books. We got it all. We're called the epitome of pop culture for a reason, and no, again, it's not for our egos. So folks, make sure you're involved with every aspect of World Class Bullshitters, not just for us, but do it for yourself. We're making the change in entertainment everybody out there wants to see. And a special thank you goes out to all of our wonderful patrons who make this content possible. Go to patreon.com/worldclassbs to get involved and help out the channel.